Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing very well today. So today I'm going to be doing a full face of my favourites from July. This is all going to be my makeup favourites from July. I'm really looking forward to it, so let's just jump straight into it. I feel like I've mixed up my makeup routine quite a lot this month. I feel like a lot of the time I use the same products over and over again, but this month I've tried so many new things, I've got so many new staples. So I'm going to start off with my primer. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Grippy Primer. So this is actually a serum primer as well as a grippy primer, which is one of the things that I love about it. Because it's nice and hydrating on the skin, it's got skincare benefits, but it also makes your makeup last literally all day long. Just rubbing this into my skin. Okay, so that's pretty much sunk into my skin and it does sink in really quickly. And it also gets tacky quite fast. Like you can see that nice natural glow, but it is also super tacky at the same time. I hope you can hear that. So I'm going to move on to the foundation now, which is one that I didn't expect to be in this video at the start of the month, but this is the Rimmel Kind & Free Blur It Out Mattifying Skin Tint. So I tried this in a video and just fell in love with it. I think it is a beautiful product. It sits so nicely on the skin. It's got a really nice amount of coverage and I love the finish as well. It's like, I wouldn't say it's completely mattifying finish, but it definitely blurs the skin out. And if you can see already, it is just such a lovely finish. It's got a really nice amount of coverage on there. At first when I used this, I thought it looked quite like a grey kind of undertone, so I wasn't sure the shade would be right. But then when you blend it out and let it actually settle into the skin, it is a really, really good shade for me. I can't actually remember what shade I've got. Let me have a look. I've gone for the shade 160 Vanilla, and I do think it's absolutely perfect. I do have some tan on, but I do like to have a bit of tan on an everyday basis anyway. I was originally going to go for the, I think it's Dewy Finish they called it, the other one. So they released two at the same time. They're still really, really new. And I was originally going to go for the Dewy Finish. But I felt like not many brands have done skin tints that are mattifying. It does have that little bit of glow, but we did use a serum primer as well, so that's going to have a little bit of glow underneath it. So I do think it's more of like a semi-matte than like fully matte finish. But I absolutely love it. I've been using it all the time. I think it's nice on its own, but it also sits really nice with like a full face of makeup. Moving on to my contour and bronzer now, I'm going to use the Lifter 6 from Maybelline. I genuinely, when I first tried this, I didn't think I was going to like it at all because it felt really ashy toned. But after I blended it out, I just fell in love with it, and I've been using this in nearly every single makeup look. I feel like it is sending me back to like my contour days, and I'm just so here for it. So I'm using that like just under my cheekbones there. But then I've been using this one quite a lot, which is the e.l.f. Liquid Bronzer. And this one is in the shade Light. Just a little bit here and a little bit there, just to add a little bit of warmth back into my face. So they are definitely different shades. It's got more of a cooler undertone, whereas the e.l.f. one's definitely a lot warmer. But I feel like it just works for the different parts of my face. Just go in firstly, blending out the Maybelline one, which I'm not going to lie, blends so well into the skin. Let me just get my mirror so I can see. Go to this side. I do apologise if you can hear the seagulls. We've got so many baby seagulls living like near the house at the moment, which is really bizarre. We've never had that before, but they are super noisy. And look how easy that blends out. It has that nice amount of warmth there, but it also really does help to like just enhance your natural features. So I'm going to go in with this bronzer now, which has just ended up going along my face because my hair went in it. Just blend that out. Blends again super easily, just adds a little bit of warmth back in. So I'm going to move on to my liquid blush next. This is one that I really like, and when it was released I was obsessed, like I wouldn't put it down. But then since then I've tried so many new blushes that I feel like I've neglected it a little bit. So I brought it back into my kit recently and I'm just obsessed again. Can you hear those seagulls? They are literally so loud. I don't know if you can hear that, but they are literally so loud right now. The mother just keeps leaving them on somebody's roof, like near our house. Just leaves them for like a few hours and then just sat there like screaming until she comes back. So this is the Morphe Hot Shot Blush Drops. I'm just going to squeeze some onto the back of my hand. I really like this packaging. And it looks like you'll hardly get any in it, but I've used this so many times and there's still quite a lot left. So this is in the shade That Girl, which I think is the most beautiful shade. What I personally like to do is just tap the brush into that product and start to work it into the hand first and then go on my face. I feel like doing it this way, it just evenly distributes the product on my brush and it makes it so much easier to apply. It is quite a pigmented product, so you don't want to go too heavy with it. But this is how it's looking. It literally takes a couple of swipes and it looks like that. It's absolutely unreal. I really like it. It does have a lot of hydration in it. So I feel like when I'm wearing this, I don't actually need a highlight 'cause it's got a nice amount of like dewy hydration. Plus with that primer underneath, it's like quite a nice combination. And then same thing on this side. Just such a beautiful product, so easy to apply as well. I would have been scared by a product like this when I started out with makeup because you'd think like more of a stick would be a lot more control, but I personally love it. I feel like my makeup never really goes wrong when I use this one. I'm actually on to another Morphe product now. This is their Wake Up Artist Concealer, I believe it's called. Yeah, it's the Under Eye Correcting Concealer. I've got the shade Sand, which is 5W. I love the applicator for this. I just love it. It just sits so nice under the eye. Picks up a nice amount of product. So I'm putting a little bit there, a little bit up there, and something at this side, and a little bit there. I'm always going to put a little bit on my forehead just to help brighten. A little bit on my chin. And I don't always do this, but I feel like I do need to a little bit stir. Put a little bit there, and there. It just helps to brighten and sculpt. Now I need to find a brush to blend this out with. I'll use this one. This is the 421 brush from Real Techniques. I feel like I only ever really use Morphe and Real Techniques brushes anymore. Well, I use some P. Louise ones actually as well. But I desperately need to cleanse my mind because my Morphe ones are all absolutely disgusting. A lot of my Real Techniques ones now, they just kind of need to be retired. Really gently patting that into the skin. I don't want to like spread it out too much, I'm just gently patting that in. I really like the coverage, but one thing that I really like about this concealer is it's not cakey and it's not heavy. It doesn't crease as much as some of the concealers that I've got that do. I also think the shade is really nice for like brightening your under eyes. For my powder, I've actually been really struggling to decide which one to use in this video because I feel like I've actually found quite a few good powders recently that I've been using quite a lot that I've been really working with my routine because I'm really fussy when it comes to concealer and a powder. I'm really fussy, but this is the one I'm going for, which is the Filter Finish by Collection. It sits beautifully, it really helps to blur, and I've never had a problem with it, and it is super affordable as well because a lot of the time I go for a little bit more price when it comes to powders. Like I said, I'm very fussy, so my favourite ones tend to be the more expensive ones. Why? Can you actually hear those seagulls right now? It is super blurring. It has got a really nice bit of coverage. I just found that it's super blurring. It has a bit of coverage but not too much. But it just sits so nice on the skin. Doesn't look cakey. It just kind of blurs and it's just like flawless on the skin. I don't know how else to describe it, but I absolutely love it. I think it's really nice. I'm really fussy when it comes to powder. I'll admit it, I'm very fussy. So finding a nice one, especially with concealers as well, finding a nice like pairing can be really difficult for me. So I feel like I reach for a lot more like expensive and more high-end ones. So finding a drugstore one that I like this much is just amazing. I think this is like £5. I love a powder blush, I do, but I feel like I don't really need a lot today because it's definitely a very pigmented one, which is one of the reasons I love it, but I do usually lay my blush with a powder. So this one I'm going to use today, which is from MUA, and it is their MUA blush powder in the shade Rose Tea. Super pretty. I just love the kind of like peachy undertone this has. I'm just gently tapping this over that blush you've already got on. I feel like it just gives like an extra bit of like dimension to your skin when you like double layer with a cream and a powder blush. Also makes it last even longer. Just going to put on some setting spray now, and if you've been here before, you'll be sick and tired of hearing me talk about this. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I love it. It is just the best setting mist on the market. It's a little bit more pricey than some drugstore ones, but it's worth every penny to me. So I'm just applying some of this on my skin. It is the most fine mist that I've ever had in a setting mist. I love the fact that it's continuous as well, because you can literally just stick your finger on, just keep going around, whereas with some, when you like have to pump the bottle, it ends with like large like chunks on your face, like the start and the end of the spritz can just end up messy. But I love this. I've been a fan of this for like 4-5 years, I don't know. For as long as I've been doing makeup anyway, since I discovered this product, I've been obsessed with it. Moving on to mascara next, and I've gone in my drawer today to find my mascara that I'm going to use this video, and I found these three I also have an unopened one. I've got one in my spares drawer. I've got one in my makeup bag. And I've also got a mini in my bag that I carry around with me at all times. This shows how much I love this mascara. I've been using this since literally the day it came out. I bought it when it launched on Beauty Bay's website. So this is a Beauty Bay High Key Mascara. This is a new bottle actually. So I'm just going to go in with my lashes. I just think this is one of the nicest mascaras I've ever tried. This and my Maybelline Sky High I think will always be my favourites. It just gives so much like length, volume, just everything to your lashes. And it depends on how much you put on to what finish you get. So you can put a tiny bit on and just get a really, really natural lash look with just a bit of definition on your lashes for like a no makeup day. Or you could layer this on top of each other over and over again. And it still looks so good. It'll just add extra volume, extra lift, extra thickness to those lashes. I love it. I also love this wand. I've already said how I do prefer so much more like a wand like this, more of a, I don't know if it'll focus, but more of like a simple wand. Doesn't need to be like really chunky and just out there. And as always, all the products I talk about today will be linked in the description box if you want to check any of them out. There's no gatekeeping here, but that's how it looks just from doing like one coat of mascara. I'm not going to go heavy with it today. I'm going to leave it like that because I do really like it. And I feel like sometimes less can be more. So I've got another Rimmel product when it comes to my lips. I've got this lip liner here. This is the Lasting Finish lip liner in the shade Cappuccino. This one is pretty dull, but this is actually the sharpest one that I own right now. I desperately need to sharpen like all my lip liners. Just making sure I don't have any excess from that lip mask that I put on earlier on. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like it just kind of like makes it quite slippery and just doesn't always sit the nicest when I put a lip liner over my lip mask. Okay, gonna start here. And then I like to blur it out so it's not like too intense, because it's quite a dark shade to be honest. And then on the top. And again, blur it out. I just love it. I think it is so nice. I've always said this is my favourite formula for a lip liner. It just makes it last literally all day long. You can add a little bit more if you want a bit more intense. I'll just leave it like that for a nice like blurred kind of like outline. My last product is my lipstick, and I feel like I could have used this in last month's video. I actually think I used that lip liner in last month's video, but I'm not going to just use a different one for the sake of it being more interesting. I've just used this all month, so I'm going to include it. This is the Air Blur Soft Matte Liquid Lipstick by Revolution. I love the formula of this. I think it is just so, as it says, blurring. But this shade is perfect. This one I think is Siren. Yeah, Siren. Which I actually tried, I think it was Chauffeur. At first I thought it was going to be my perfect shade, so I use it all the time. Then I tried this in a video and I was like, why have I been sleeping on this shade? It is stunning. Let's get a little bit in there. I think it works really nice with that lip liner as well. But I love that. It feels really creamy. It feels really, really nice. So this is the final look. This is how it's looking. There's a full face of my July favourites in makeup. And I feel like I've found some really good products this month. I've got some that I've always loved and some new bits in here. So let me know in the comments any other videos you'd like, what products your favourites were this month, and what products you'd like me to try for next month. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!